Click for more.
Fetching video stream. Come on!
I hope, because apparently we're live.
We're going there. There we go. Oh, we're live. We're live. We're live.
We're live.
We're live.
We're live.
It's episode 10.
I still don't see it.
Well, I'm being previewed, just saying that it's there. Try refreshing your page. Scheduled to go live now. It's panicking at me.
It's panicking?
Yeah. Start your video feed here within 10 minutes of the scheduled start time. Thanks for your help there.
Hey,
fella.
there's the...
There, we're going. We're
I
live.
see something.
My shirt's up. My shirt's off. My jacket's off. Shirt's not off yet. Not that kind of show. Okay.
We don't have bourbon this time.
I guess I should save this. Save.
Hey, there's the... There it is.
You can see everything?
I can see stuff.
Yeah, okay, good.
I don't know if I can get to the comments yet.
Oh, I'm on the comments.
Yeah, how do we get that?
I don't know.
It says preview. Oh, hey, I got it.
There, you got it?
I got it, and it says I'm live.
Oh,
Get to the comments. This technology is hard.
that sounds okay.
Sounds good?
Yeah.
Yeah, how do we get that?
Okay, I'm out. All right. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Bourbon Zeppelins, episode number 10.
We made it! Just barely.
Things look a little weird this week. We're in a little bit of disarray, and we aren't set up technologically the way that we normally are. We're running off...
Or philosophically.
Yeah, we're running off a couple of laptops, and it occurred to me about at like 7:59 and 45 seconds that I didn't actually have the stream key for this to go live yet. So that's why we were a little bit late, and I was a little bit frazzled when we started.
As opposed to...
Well, normally I'm less frazzled.
Less fried. More nonchalant.
Yeah, cool as a cucumber, I like to say.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or other fruit.
So welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks. That was my fault. I was sick last week.
Fighting with touch of the rickets.
Yeah, scurvy. I don't eat enough limes.
Limes.
Yeah, limes. It's good for your scurvy.
Lemons
Or
are better.
I guess it's bad for your scurvy. And
It's bad for your scurvy. Yeah, any
Good.
citrus fruit will help you
That's very
not get
Scandinavian of you.
scurvy. Will help fight off the scurvy that you've got and help you feel better. An orange away keeps the scurvy away.
True.
No, oh, man.
Yes, scurvy is like the...
An orange a day keeps the scurvy away.
Right, isn't that what you just said?
I think we'll watch the video later and laugh at it, I'm sure.
right.
Good grief.
So it's been a couple of weeks.
But we're back.
We're back in full effect. It's episode 10, so I brought no bourbon with me. I totally forgot.
Double bourbon next week.
Yeah.
Double bourbon
We'll
week.
each bring a bottle of bourbon next week.
And they'll fight.
There might be a fight. Depends how much of the bourbon we go through.
I like it.
So if you've watched the show before, Pam, I'm assuming you're watching tonight.
Hi, Pam.
Probably my wife. Hi, Ariana.
Not my
I would
wife.
like to hear your comments about what you think of the setup. Do you prefer what you're seeing right now? Two guys sitting behind a desk, looking all
Executive.
Yeah, I've got like white buttons, and that's very executive as a white button. That's how I spot them in the wild. Anyways, my question: do you prefer this like a desk with both of us on one camera? Do you like the two camera split that we normally have?
Do you have some better
Because we
ideas?
might be doing something like this for at least the foreseeable future. Because Jeremy's world is flipped, turned upside down.
There are strange things amok at the Circle K.
That is, by the way, not a quote from Fear and Loathing.
No, it's Bill and Ted's. Strange things are afoot at the Circle K. Yeah, the next couple of weeks are going to be full of announcements, and there's no announcements yet. Just the promises of things to come.
Yeah, nothing sad. I don't think.
No, all happy stuff. It's Christmas.
Just so you know, like, I don't want you to go away from this being like, oh God, I hope he doesn't have like
Cancer.
AIDS or something. That'd be, or AIDS cancer, which is
AIDS
the
cancer?
worst of the worst of both.
Don't they like fight each other and then you're healthy?
Maybe.
Like in Mr. Burns?
I guess that's one way to find out.
You have all of the diseases and they fight each other and they can't get They can't actually make you
I
sick.
think you should just on camera right now publicly state that if you are ever diagnosed with cancer, you will immediately try to contract AIDS just to see what happens.
Just for medical research.
Yeah,
And
you have to keep a diary though to make it scientific.
a diary is what makes it scientific.
Yeah, well, you put the date. How here's how I'm feeling today.
That's the scientific process. A diary, that makes it scientific.
I'm feeling ravaged by cancer and AIDS.
Feeling ravaged by ravaged by the cancer, but the AIDS came along and beat its ass. And
Hopefully, I mean that would be a real happy ending, and
That-
then that you'd be a best-selling book, Jeremy Younger's Diary.
Jeremy Younger's diary.
Yeah.
I feel Anne Frank still has the corner on famous diaries.
Yeah, I'm just saying you could have like the second most famous diary.
Okay, I could go for that.
I think. Is there any? Can't think of any other diaries off the top of my head that are like famous. I mean, obviously, lots of famous people have diaries, but
We should read some of theirs.
you can't. I learned today that Queen Victoria's diary is online, so you can read that if you'd like.
Queen Victoria.
Yeah, she was a queen. We named some cities after her. And some
What kind?
parks. The royal kind.
Okay.
The incestuous kind.
Oh, so she was French.
She was English.
I see.
She had a whole era named after her.
Victorian.
The
I
Victorian
got you.
era.
No, I
Yeah.
got you.
Like, for real.
All right, she was not a looker. Next topic.
No, you had to look her up to know? Jeez, man.
This week in gun violence,
Oh, hold
because
on.
we just gotta have one. Is this the right one? December's? Yep.
Yeah, the Aztec High School.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So this is from December 7th. There's not a lot to say about this. I'm just going to say that it was at a school, obviously, Aztec High School in New Mexico in the States. 3 people died, including the shooter, or the perpetrator.
So we're not yeah.
That's it. That's all we're going to say about it. We've said all we can about how we feel about it. We don't like gun violence.
Not a fan of it.
Is generally how we feel about it. So,
Right.
we can move
We
on.
can move on.
What's the next thing we're talking about? 'Cause I don't
Canadian
actually-
politics now?
Yeah. Sorry, I have one less screen to work with, so I'm a little.
Yeah, we gotta fix this.
Okay, let me grab that.
Gotta have more.
Need more screens.
So-
I could have brought a spare screen. I just.
We have a few lying around here. It's just
I
we don't
guess.
have time to set up all of it.
Okay.
Canadians reluctant to accept new police powers, prefer privacy online, government fines.
I'm actually glad to hear this. I would have almost bet money that if you polled people and were like, how do you feel about online privacy? Do you think police should have more overreach in order to see what you're doing online, to see what everyone's doing online? I would have expected people to be like, yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so this
I'm not saying
this would extend to if a police pulls you over and wants to go through your phone, you have to unlock your phone for them. This would be that kind of a scenario.
Yeah, similar, or just like tracking your stuff, tracking your movements, not movement, but tracking your activities online, just to see, like, a good example of this is ISPs giving up personal, like, so tying IP addresses to users. Without a warrant, right? Like, so that's what they're talking about. So they want, like, the cops sort of want the power to be able to call up Bell and be like, "Hey,
where's Jeremy?
Who's at this IP address because they downloaded something inappropriate?" Like,
right. So, yeah, I'm not for that. I'm not a big alarmist about online presence and tracking and profiling and those types of things. But this is too, like, that would be too big brothery. That would in my mind would very much overreach.
yeah. So some of the questions they were asking. So, do you believe that basic subscriber information, so like your name, home address, phone number, and email address, do you believe that it's private as the content of your communications? So what they mean there is like a cop can't wiretap your phone. So your communications are private in that sense.
Yeah.
But is your information about you and the people involved in that conversation, should that also be private? 70% said, yeah, it should be.
That doesn't surprise me. You thought they'd be okay with the police having that power?
Generally, yes. I think people have a fundamental misunderstanding of technology, and they don't see.
I think people have a fundamental misunderstanding of the police.
And that too. But but I'm just saying, like, when it comes to technology, I feel as though a lot of people don't really see the threat.
Right, but no, because I was going to say I think
it's one or the other. They're either terrified or they don't care at all. There's not a lot of people who are sort of middle ground, right? In my opinion, obviously there are. Like, I think we're both.
We constitute the middle ground.
Yeah, that's swinging for the middle. That's our catchphrase that never caught on because we only use it for one episode.
Yeah, we gotta get back to that.
So 48% of people said that basic subscriber information should only be provided in limited circumstances and with judicial approval, which is basically what's currently required. So
right.
They're saying if there's a warrant, then yeah, go for it, which I'm fine with. I think that's also acceptable. 68% believe that law enforcement should operate the same in both the physical and digital worlds with regards to privacy rights, due process, and how warrants are granted and scrutinized. Which I actually really wish that I wish that a lot of these numbers were higher. Like that 70% was like really nice, but only 48% of people saying that basic subscriber information should only be provided in limited circumstances and with judicial approval. I mean,
see, the sentence is ambiguous. Does that mean that 52% of people believe that it shouldn't even be given in special circumstances?
Like I don't know what the option is because I haven't actually looked at it. Right?
This is a bad article.
Well, it's an article, right? So
no, I'll qualify it. It's bad.
Okay.
Because it's not really.
Like, I mean, I don't know how they were collecting the data, right? So I don't know if this is like on a scale of strongly agree to strongly disagree, or if it's like just a yes or no, or it's a yes or no or unsure. So I don't know what the other 52% of those people constitute.
What their opinion is.
I don't know what they're thinking.
So Pam doesn't see the threat.
The threat? Okay. So I want to take this back a little bit. We had this discussion a few weeks ago just about privacy and why I sort of thought it was important, and you were like, you think it's important, but can you verbalize it? Can you contextualize it? And I was like, no, not really.
Now you can.
But I sort of can now.
Okay.
I sort of stumbled across this today, and this is someone else's idea on the internet, and this is something that hadn't really occurred to me.
Right.
So we talk about, we were talking about how our online activities, like say the things that we do on Facebook and the things that we put into Google, we look at it we were sort of looking at it from the perspective of marketing and advertising and targeted advertising. And that's what we were thinking when we were thinking of, like what's the threat? Like people take this information just to target me with advertisements. But what we sort of forget about is that Google and Facebook actually aren't the biggest grabbers of our information. It's every little application you have on your phone, those guys are probably selling your data to somebody. And the people that they're selling your data to aren't doing it to target you with advertisements. So they can track things. They can actually, they're getting data off the phone. So there's personal information attached to that. So they know who you are. And that information can be tied to, a Facebook account or a Google Plus account. Mm-hmm. And they can do things like, if you're searching, let's say that you're a woman and you think that you might be pregnant, and so you start searching things that are sort of pregnancy related, and now your employer knows that you are maybe pregnant, but they don't want to incur the costs of having to pay your maternity leave. Mm-hmm. So they just buy a data set and they find out that you are pregnant, and they find a reason to terminate you before you can tell them that you're pregnant. So I'm not saying that this happens all the time. I'm not even saying this happens, like 1% of the time. It's probably happened. I don't have any evidence that it has, but it sounds, people are unethical sometimes, and this sounds like
Sometimes.
yes, and sometimes they're ethical. But so this is the kind of thing. It's not just like I'm using that as sort of like a kind of an out there example, but people are tracking. They can track your location, based on things that you're searching, based on ping. This is all stuff especially so. I guess I'm not too concerned about the information that Facebook and Google are collecting through their application and website, because they still buy data to round out their data sets. Mm-hmm. So you have to wonder, you think about what Facebook and Google are getting on you. What are they buying about you?
Yeah. So what's the solution?
Don't know.
All right.
I don't really have a solution.
That's what we do, people. We give you problems to explain how bad your life is going to be.
I'm just saying that we do need to be concerned a little bit about our privacy, because we're giving up more information than we think we are at any given time. Now, this isn't like a sky is falling type thing. The reality is this probably isn't going to affect most of us, like 99% of us. But there's going to be people out there who are really negatively affected by this. And we can either take the stance that, well, it's not happening to me, so who cares? Or, we can at least try to push back. So, the next time you install some app on your phone and it asks for like a weird permission for something, like why would you need access to, my microphone? Or why would you need access to my contacts? Why do you want to be able to tweet on my behalf? Like things like that, you should maybe question it. Think about who the developer is, especially if it's a developer you don't know, especially if it's like a trendy game or like a quiz thing. There's lots of crazy apps out there that are basically kind of there. They function, they do what it says on the box, but they aren't there to provide you with a service. They're there to take your data and to spy on you. So, Merry Christmas.
I actually heard an interview talking about Internet of Things, so all of the new connected toys.
Internet of shit.
Yeah.
I used to work for a company that's moved into Internet of Things, and it's actually, I think it'll be fine for them, but because
right, but you think about like all these little toys that record. What was the music player that we did for Kickstarter, right? All of that stuff that records your kids, and then is able to play it back, for the parents or like in a different location or anytime it's connected to the internet. All of that stuff that's been recorded exists on the cloud, can be sold, can be analyzed, can be
absolutely,
and that starts to get really
and
scary.
A lot of things. So, like if you go to a mall nowadays, you'll see like the big the big advertisements that are on the big TV screens, right?
Right.
And then at the top they have a little camera. And people don't necessarily realize that the camera's there, but there is one, I assure you. So next time you go, you might as well look at it, because it's doing a couple of things. One, it's tracking, it's counting eyes, so it's looking to see if your eyes are looking at the ad, because that's how they're counting imprints, basically, right? As opposed to a click. This is how many eyes are on this ad at this location. And guess what else it's doing? It's recording your face, so it knows what you look like. Now, it might not know your name yet, but one day it will.
And Apple is certainly helping people with this.
Apple is. Someone's actually just getting out of it.
Apple just developed a camera specifically to map faces.
Yeah. Google was really big into facial recognition a few years ago, and they got out of it because they were concerned about the implications of it. And the guy even said, he's like, I know that someone else is going to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I'd rather it be someone else.
Don't want to have that on his plate. Yeah, I don't know. Pam still doesn't care. She doesn't think she's got anything to hide.
That's what everyone says until, morals change.
Yeah. I don't know.
Society changes their mind all the time about what's appropriate and what's inappropriate.
Used to be appropriate for 30-year-olds to date 14-year-old girls.
Yeah.
Now apparently that's taboo.
That's the kind of thing that gets you not elected in Alabama.
I tell you.
That's about the only thing. and it was close. It was way too close. And Moore still hasn't conceded.
It's because he's waiting for the recount.
Yeah, because it's close enough.
And that's about the best segue we can come up with.
I guess we weren't even going to talk about that. I guess we can.
Well, I think that all that's most of what needs to be said about that is this isn't so much Democrats need to realize how close a race it was, even against someone who has credible allegations of child molestation. So it's not like it's just going to be a blue state from now on, right?
Yeah.
Like it took running against someone that horrible,
and they were really the Democrats were really boots on the ground for this one.
Yeah, like they had to work
they
to
did
beat
a lot of work.
So I mean, just like they need to look at the big picture about that if they want to have any sort of hope in that state in the future.
It was weird. There was like a really weird sort of divide between race in that election, like in terms of voting, especially amongst women. Like there was way more like Caucasian women voted for Moore than black women did. Like black women voted sort of overwhelmingly for the other guy. Whose name is completely escaping me right now.
Democrat Joe.
I think his name actually might be Joe.
Andrew Quick, what's his name?
Whatever.
Anyways, yeah.
But like it was like such a weird statistic. Like but I mean, actually there was an interesting article that I read the headline of the other day, where it was women on the alt-right are surprised that they're being treated poorly by men in the alt-right. Like they're upset that they aren't being treated as, equal human beings by people who don't believe in equality. Generally.
It's just the Doug Jones.
Thank you. Oh, Jones. That's where I got the Joe.
That's the Joe.
That's the Joe.
That's the Joe part?
Yeah. I thought the Joe sounded familiar.
No. So, Alabama's got interesting days ahead. So we'll see what happens with that. All right.
Is there anything else we want to talk about before we get into this?
Into the next stuff.
Yeah, because I don't know. I can see what the internet has to say today.
Yeah, we're motoring through stuff today.
We are cruising. It's only 8:23.
It's awesome, and normally we ramble a lot more about some of these things.
Yeah, we'll usually go on about the shooting a little bit.
Ugh, I'm tired of talking about shooting.
Yeah.
We could also go on our campaign for YouTube subscribers.
Oh, yeah. Hey, yeah, while we're at it, while we're trying to think of stuff, thanks for watching the show. For those of you who keep coming back week after week, thank you very much for your support. If you're watching this not live, let's say you're watching this on YouTube, you can watch us live every-ish Wednesday, almost every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. My bad.
When we're not sick.
Facebook.com/Bourbon and Zeppelins. You can follow us on Twitter if you're so inclined, twitter.com/BNZ show, or Instagram.com. I have Instagrammed 2 glasses of bourbon.
I was
and then I stopped. Then I started.
bourbon.
I didn't want people to realize how much bourbon I drink, so I stopped taking pictures of every glass that I poured and putting them out on Instagram. We posted a picture today. You can join our multitude of Instagram followers from the Middle East at Instagram.com/Bourbon and Zeppelin. And if you are not watching this on YouTube, or you're just anywhere, please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe it. Subscribe to it. Pam has done all she can for us, I think.
She got us another 2.
Yeah, she got us so many. Pam's like the best at stealing phones and subscribing people to to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate it.
Ah, dang it. Not the right keys. What the... There we go. Computers are hard.
Yep. You know, I was doing all that talking, and I wasn't looking for anything else to talk about. Let's see, there's more net neutrality stuff. Nearly 2/3 of white women in Alabama voted for accused child molester Roy Moore. There, that's the statistic that I couldn't remember.
What was... Say that again?
Nearly 2/3. I'll actually click on the article so that maybe they have a better number. The headline is, nearly 2/3 of white women in Alabama voted for accused child molester Roy Moore. And then they have a nice picture of a bunch of white
So
ladies.
what's the cognitive dissonance here?
Because people...
Sorry, no, what's the cognitive... Like, how are they able to do this?
Because politics have become so divisive that people would rather have a child molester than someone they disagree with politically in office.
Is it that they disagree with him because I mean, I kept
They're
hearing...
not.
I kept
Why
hearing...
else would you vote for them?
Well, because you're going to toe a party line, right?
That's what I'm saying. They would rather have a child molester or a potential child molester than a Democrat. That's the whole thought process. Can't have a Democrat because he's a socialist. Think of the children. And then we've got Roy Moore, who just apparently can't stop thinking about children, and that's the sign of a good leader to some Republicans. One of my favorite stories, I can't remember if I was talking to you about it or not, but there was a guy at one of his rallies who was telling a story about he was like an army buddy or whatever. They were in the military, him and Roy Moore. And so the story involves this guy, Roy Moore, and a third dude who they did not name. And the guy was like, oh, you guys are heading back after your tour. Let's go party one last time. So they hop on, into the Jeep. They trundle off to wherever this buddy tells them to go. They wind up in a brothel. And the brothel has some very young women in it. Like, we might call them illegally, so very underage children, essentially. And the guy's telling this story about Roy Moore, accused child molester. And he says, Roy took a look around, realized that, these women were too young, and said, nope, we aren't staying here. And so the takeaway from this is that Roy Moore is not a child molester. He's just the kind of guy that accidentally ends up at a brothel full of child prostitutes.
Well, it was Vietnam.
I know. I get that.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
A story
if
to
you're
tell.
You're reaching so far that this is all you've got left to hang on to.
I bet you Roy Moore is like, this story's going to paint me in an amazing light. I am glad he's telling this story. That's my best friend, everybody.
I'm glad he is. So you saw Roy Moore marching in on the horse.
No.
He went to go vote. He rode in on a horse.
Okay, that explains why his horse was tweeting today, and it was getting retweeted a ton.
That's why. So my thought kept being where's the? Why are you riding a horse? There's no room for a child seat on there.
He's got the horse to pick him up with her teeth.
Oh, okay.
Trot him away.
That'll work.
He just trains him to kidnap.
Yeah. So Andrew points out, and what I kept hearing was Republicans, because Doug Jones is very, pro-choice.
Yeah.
So against
the Republicans hate choice. That's the thing libertarians hate the most is choosing things.
Choice. That's not the.
I'm just saying.
Anyway.
You think if anyone would be pro-choice,
right?
We don't want governments telling us what we can and can't do. We want to choose. Damn it. Sorry. Carry on.
We'll get into abortion yet.
No, I'm not even talking about.
I know.
It's a joke about words. It's wordplay.
Wordplay. Yeah. So, So this is one where I think Republicans totally got it wrong. They're going to put a child molester in instead of. I mean, what they kept saying is, we're going to put a child molester in instead of someone who kills children. If you frame it like that, it doesn't sound so bad.
I guess.
But that's some pretty fantastic.
What's worse, killing a child or just raping one?
Right?
Food for thought.
Hang on. The right answer is killing a child's worse, right?
I don't actually think so.
We don't have time for this.
Okay. It's an interesting question. That's why I said food for thought. Because I was like, I don't actually know the answer to this. I think the answer is raping.
Is worse?
Yeah, because that kid has to live with that forever. Like, you've ruined that child's life.
It's true. Yeah, absolutely. So then, that then opens up the question of, well, do you think there's an afterlife? And because from a Christian standpoint, you might actually absolutely be right? Like, if you say, okay, well, this child would have to live with this trauma for the rest of their life, or they can just go to heaven.
Yeah, I mean, and then
maybe that is.
I mean, look at this. Like, so you have a kid. You have a kid who gets abused, right? And depression sets in, and then later on, maybe they kill themselves.
Incidents
and
of suicide go through the roof.
If you believe in an afterlife, I don't think you get into heaven if you kill yourself. I think it depends on probably knowledge.
Well, it depends on which.
Like but there's definitely people who say no heaven for people who take their own life.
Well, they've made lots of movies about that. Constantine's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, that's based on a comic book.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, it's a great comic book. It's a good TV show. It was a better TV show than a movie.
It was a TV show?
Yeah. Like a couple of years ago.
And also, this podcast took a very dark, disturbing turn. Pam voted rape. I don't know if she's voting for rape or that. The comment was a little ambiguous.
This sentence is getting weird. this whole thing is getting weird.
It's just a lot of wordplay today. I think
But, I think we should maybe put a poll up on our Facebook page. What's worse, killing a child or raping a child?
Man. Can we not?
So, if you're a teacher and you want to show this episode to your classroom, you totally have our permission to do that.
Oh, she clarified. Rape is worse.
Okay. Thank you, Pam.
That's one for Dave.
That's right. I'm on Team Rape today.
Team Rape's winning.
T-shirts?
Oh God! I hope this. I hope my boss, the company I work for, never sees. I hope no one ever takes that out of context.
Because that's never happened in the history of the internet.
The internet's really good at keeping things in context.
Editing's fantastic. And that brings us to Kickstarter Crystal Ball.
Oh, shit, I wasn't ready.
Oh, hang on, people.
Oh, God, I can't find my tab.
Ready?
Nope.
Ready?
Nope.
Our technology
is... Go.
Kickstarter Crystal Ball!
Okay.
How the crap did we get to rape from Canadians and online privacy?
Because you wanted to talk about Roy Moore and his horse that kidnaps young women for Roy Moore to rape.
Allegedly. I'm looking at the wrong camera. Allegedly.
Allegedly the horse kidnapped women.
Like the raping we're pretty sure about, but, we don't know if the horse is involved.
Yeah. It's true, Pam. We're trucking through today's episode. We finally figured out how to talk for less than 2 hours. It took us a while, but
yeah. Well, I mean, we can take our time during the Kickstarter Crystal Ball.
Well, we've got a lot of ones to go through here. So what's left on our?
I gotta open my spreadsheet. I don't have my spreadsheet open.
Okay, we got the Progress app still.
That's still a thing.
Hang on. Oh, no, it's done.
Awesome.
The Progress app. So to recap, the Progress app is a specially designed app that's going to moderate conversations on controversial topics between people with differing opinions. Mm-hmm. Because the internet does that what?
You know what's a cheaper way to do that? Start your own podcast with somebody, and then you can just argue about crap online. Yeah.
And let the internet sort it out.
In the public forum. And then you can say things like, I'm on Team Rape. and Team Rape is winning.
That's the one that's worse, not that's the one you prefer, right?
Correct.
Yeah, because you're throwing me for a loop here. A little bit. Progress app. We're going to keep going back to that just all night. Progress app did not make it. They ran out of time. They earned a whopping $365 out of their
$365
out of their $10,000 goal.
Uh-oh.
So no go. Did we say that was going to go?
I didn't have this one marked down, but I don't think that we did.
I don't think I ever believed in that one. That one's crap.
I think I said that I wanted, I was sort of okay with it, but I thought it was generally a bad idea, and it wouldn't.
Is it actually a bad idea?
Yeah.
Let's not have any sort of dialogue about that. Is it?
Well, I think it is because
conceptually, it's a bad idea to have.
Conceptually, it's a good idea.
Okay, so
I like the concept of, because the way the world's going, the way the internet sort of works, is everyone winds up in their own little echo chamber, and no one ever, a lot of people just avoid discourse, avoid having conversations with people they don't agree with, because there's a lot of people that don't enjoy being challenged on what they think.
There's a lot of people that don't enjoy thinking.
Right. And so when they are challenged on the internet, they just, scream obscenities or, make wild accusations or denigrate you and don't actually have a conversation. They don't do anything other than insult you and run away. And then go start a community somewhere where people like you aren't welcome.
Right.
Right? And you sort of see this on both sides. I'm not, picking any particular
side
here.
Okay. Rabbit trail. Is this the way Twitter's going?
It could potentially be. Because I think I said this last time, where I'm not happy with them censoring people.
Yeah, Twitter's going through an unblue starring.
Yeah.
People,
I think people...
What is it? Check mark? Star?
It's a blue check mark. I think people...
Unblue check marking.
Give too much meaning to the blue check mark. All it really means is... all it was supposed to mean is that you are verified as being a public figure. Right, so if
public figure, is that what it?
That's all it ever meant. Was you are someone who's in the news, and we can verify that you are that person who's in the news.
You have to be in the news.
You have to be newsworthy, right? You have to sort of you have to have some level of celebrity.
Okay, we've got a new project
to get blue check marks.
I want to become newsworthy.
Well, if this episode goes viral, maybe.
Do I have to be on Team Rape to be checkmarked?
No, probably not. You can be on Team Baby Killer.
Team Baby Killer.
You're losing.
I might be. All right. I forget where I was going. Oh yeah.
Right. So
yes.
So they're removing blue check marks from people because a lot of Twitter users felt as though the blue check mark was an endorsement from Twitter.
Right, which it's sort of,
it's an endorsement that we know who you are, but it's not an endorsement that we necessarily agree with what this person says.
Okay, so there's a blue check mark on an app. Everybody who uses this app thinks that that's an endorsement of Twitter of this person.
Correct.
Right? Twitter has on some obscure page some verbiage that says, when you've got this blue check mark, it just means that we verified that you're a public figure.
I don't think it's...
So, does it become...
It was sort of news. To be fair, it was news when it came out, because they didn't always have the blue check mark.
Right. So, can it mean something that Twitter didn't intend it to mean? Do you see where I'm going with that?
I do, and I'm thinking about an answer, because I kind of don't... I'm not trying to disagree with you, but I don't think
even if it's not what Twitter intended it to be, if that's what everybody uses it as, does it in a
see now we're this
in
is
much
sort of
the same way that literally became synonymous with figuratively?
I'm gonna go with no, because this is more... Oh, this is tough. This is hard to say. I want to say that this is sort of turning into deciding what a fact is just by democracy, by taking a vote.
That's what post-truth is.
I
believe me,
understand
how
that.
much I hate that these words are coming out of my mouth right now.
Right. No, I get that, but it's wrong. So I'm going to say no. It means what it means. Twitter never changed its usage of it.
Right.
Twitter wasn't giving it to people to endorse them.
Yeah.
It's Twitter's title to hand out. Right?
Yep.
And
yeah. Okay. I think I
like,
agree
I get
with
what
you.
you're saying, though, right?
Right.
Like, it's real easy for people to assign meaning to something, and then you have to ask the question: do we need? So, like, if I'm
Do we
Twitter,
need to redefine it?
Yeah, like if I'm Twitter and I've been putting blue check marks on people because I just want people to know that yes, this is actually, Shaq. This is actually Shaq. Here's a blue check mark, so you know it's Shaq, and it's not some fake Shaq. And then people start changing the meaning of it. Yeah,
Right, yeah,
I
yeah.
need to reassess. Okay, do I need to start from scratch? Do I need to put out a statement explaining? What do I need to do to clear up the confusion about who has this blue check mark and why they have the blue check mark? Because I don't think you want to endorse everything Shaq has to say. Like, he's a cool, funny guy. Don't get me wrong, but he says some dumb stuff from time to time. You probably wouldn't
Yeah,
want
you
to
said
endorse
he's a
him all the
funny
time.
guy.
Yeah,
He says some dumb, funny stuff.
But
Funny.
it's just kind of I don't know. Twitter's in a kind of a hard place. Reddit, you're seeing it's a big problem on Reddit right now. They had their big push to get rid of hate subreddits. So like there was a lot of like I spend way too much time on Reddit. So I'm aware that there were subreddits that were just there to basically talk about how much they hated people. There was like fat people hate was a very popular one where people would just complain about people being fat, and they would harass people and brigade them and stuff like that.
Wow.
And then there was, the more racially charged ones that I'm not going to tell you the names of, and because there's nothing, there's nothing not offensive about the name.
We've done enough controversial stuff today. I think.
Yeah, and so a lot of those subreddits got banned, and you actually, so someone did like a data analysis of the amount of like harassment that went on before and after, or hate speech, I think is what they were actually tracking. So how much hate speech was happening before the ban and how much hate speech was happening after the ban. And there's, to be fair, there's controversy about this study, about the methodologies and stuff like that. So I'm not 100% sure that it's accurate, but they did say that there, according to this one study, there was a significant drop in hate speech post-ban. So it's either, so let's say that the ban worked and all these people who were spewing hate speech left and they go somewhere else. So did we solve a problem or did we create a problem?
Tomato.
Right? Like if you take all these people who are, publicly espousing hateful things, and you know where they are. You can see them, you can hear them, you don't like what they have to say, but you know where they are, you sort of know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then one day you're like, you know what, you can't stand here and say that anymore. And then they go somewhere else.
Go do it somewhere else.
They just go do it somewhere else. And now you don't know what they're saying and what they're doing. I mean, you can't hear them, but what if they're, recruiting? Like, what if their numbers are getting bigger and you don't know? Right? At least before you knew.
Yep.
Right? Now you don't know. You don't know how many people are in this club. You don't know if they're starting to plan weird things because they're not really in the public anymore, right? They're in their own little corner, whispering amongst themselves. And and then you can't go in, and this is sort of my problem with, like, I hate the term SJW, like when people are like, oh, it's a social justice warrior, because I sort of consider myself to be a social justice warrior in the sense that I believe in social justice and that I try to change people's minds about things. And the problem I have, and I get why people use it derisively, is that a lot of social justice warriors are like,
Whiny millennials.
I'm not even going to say that. Their idea of solving the problem is just saying you can't say that anymore. And then they think that when people stop saying things, that they stop believing them to be true somehow.
Right.
And what they don't realize is that they all go off in their little group together, and then they bring in a buddy, and then all their buddy hears is the things that these guys are talking about. And so that becomes his truth, and then he brings in a buddy. And it's like that shampoo commercial, right? Where they tell two friends, and they tell two friends
All right,
from like the 80s. This we're ancient. and so you just wind up with a larger group that we were, no one's tracking. Like no one knows what they're doing, who are, just as hateful and fueling each other's hate. Their hate has been fueled by being shunned by these other people. And, I would much rather, as much as I disagree with what these people had to say, I would rather they kept it on Reddit. And, if it...
At least so we could...
Yeah. And, I'm not alone in this... opinion, police agencies, and I'm not a big fan of the cops, but they agree. They'd rather know where the hate groups are. Let them be out in the public. Because it's easier to keep an eye on them.
So, bringing it back to the app, conceptually, great app.
Conceptually, a great idea because the problem is though you're only it's a self-selecting group of users. Right? Because you're only going to get people on there who want to have a conversation about controversial things and want to challenge themselves. And right?
Yeah.
And so people who believe a thing wholeheartedly, 100%, you can't change their mind. And they aren't going to want to take part in this. They don't want to be challenged, generally speaking.
Or you're going to get trolls on there.
Or you're just going to get the trolls. That'll be the other side of the coin. People who are just there.
And I got to say that there would be some fun in using that app in that way, that you went on it and tried to get other people kicked off by riling up with having productive conversation, but you poke them in all the right ways so that they get mad. And
yeah, that's usually...
it's kind of a jerk thing to do.
That's kind of how all of my conversations go. When I'm arguing with people, all I try to do is push buttons. It's pretty effective. I highly recommend it.
Pushing buttons?
It drives people crazy.
It's fun. All right, so app did not go so well.
No.
But the Shellback smartphone safe.
Is this done?
Also is done.
Thank God.
And got almost a third of their goal.
Okay.
So
their goal was 30,000. What did they wind up with?
9,543.
Last time we checked in, so 2 weeks ago, they were at 87.49. So they did make a couple of bucks.
So yeah, they
over
slowly,
the last couple of weeks.
They slowly kept pushing up. I don't know if they slowly were working through their family or...
Yeah, I don't know how they were getting that.
That one seems very strange to me, that they just sort of gradually worked on it and kept moving forward, but obviously not fast enough.
I forgot we need to keep track of what we voted on and what got kickstarted, because we're sort of keeping score.
Yeah, sort of,
kind of, sort of. We just started and. Yeah. One result.
We both said no on that.
We both
right?
said no on that. Okay. So it's a tie.
It's a tie. We
currently a tie.
Both got 1 point.
The score is currently 1-1.
Excellent. All right. Yeah.
The problem is we've agreed on 3/4 of the ones we have on the list.
Yeah. Well.
So that's. So Rana Computer,
the lightweight computing,
the super expensive Chromebook
framework that super expensive Chromebook with not Google's backing.
No. Yeah, a super expensive, lousy version of Chromebook.
Yeah. So they've got 21 hours to go. So we're gonna make this good news, Pam. This podcast's going for another 21 hours because we're going.
Oh, we desperately want to know if it's gonna make it.
We don't want to wait till next week. I don't think they're going to make it. They've got $83.
Probably not.
Of their... Why do I have this in Canadian? Come on, go.
I don't know.
Sorry. They've got $65 of their $20,000 goal.
There, I think I switched to the screen. You should take a look over there. So if I did switch and I go back, it'll be just that infinite screen thing.
Let's see what you switched.
Hey, I got it.
Hey, there it is. That's working right.
Okay, so that made 83 out of a possible 25-11.
25-7-11.
25-7-11.
Canadian funds.
Yes.
All right. So I think they're ready to prepare a concession speech.
Maybe.
Let's see. Yeah, we both figured that was going to go no, right?
Yeah.
Okay. POV lamp.
Okay, hold on. I mean, you can talk about it.
This.
So I don't know why
Okay.
I don't know why I told you to hold on.
Okay.
You go next.
The smart lighting lamp. This one was curious. This one is the one that looks really good. What did we vote on this one?
We voted.
Did we disagree on this
We both
one?
voted yes on this.
Oh,
We did not disagree on this one.
we're both going to
Switch back.
be disappointed on this one, I think.
9
right
days
now.
to go. Oh, yeah. They aren't getting it. Damn it.
This is the one that was listed in Swiss francs too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
120,000 Swiss franc goal.
Oh, yeah, right.
They're at 41,163 Swiss francs.
Yeah, so... Whoops, that's not the right one. Let's try that. So they were, last time we checked... I'm going to have to... Last time we checked, they were at 37,178 Swiss francs. What's the number now?
Hang on, Swiss. 41,163. Did they go down?
No. That would be more than 37.
I did.
They're at 41.
I wasn't paying attention to that.
Oh, okay.
First
Yeah,
number.
they
Okay.
made like $4,000 thereabouts.
Well, they got 9 days.
4,000 Swiss francs. I don't know what that is, like $20 or something. Says the Canadian.
Yeah,
But they're all
I think
powerful.
we established the Swiss francs is pretty much the same as U.S. dollars.
Really?
Pretty much one-on-one.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. All right.
Yep.
So what is that, like $8,000? I'm just freshening up the joke a little bit. Okay, so
Making it more factually accurate.
yeah, that's
Dichotomy keyboard.
That's how I roll. Oh yeah, this was a cool one.
This was really. Did we disagree on this one?
Yes.
All right. What did I say?
Don't know. Let me switch back real quick. You said yes, and I said no.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Yes, this is true.
Crap. Our hero is going to.
1403 out of 27,511. How come it's always 27,511? Oh, because it's always 20,000 American.
Yes. Because the exchange rate doesn't change from project to project.
It should.
That would be a fun. That would be a fun
nightmare.
one.
Anyways, this was like the really cool one where they move the keyboard around.
This one's really cool. You guys should.
And we
check
both
this
said
out.
it was impractical. Like we both agreed it was wholly impractical.
Yeah.
But and we both agreed that this is the kind of thing that should be kickstarted. But I just didn't think it would be because this is like unique and inventive and sort of well thought out. They have prototypes and everything that work.
They like
they did a lot of work on this.
they did a crazy amount of video production on this.
Yeah, like these guys or this guy, whoever made this, put a lot of effort into it, and it took a little bit of smarts to make it, and they need like a designer or something and a market. That's the problem. Is there's like really no market for it,
Yeah, nobody's going to buy it.
but lots of nonsense gets sold on Kickstarter all the time. So
Yeah, it's just I feel like this is the kind of thing that if it was like 10 years ago and we were spending money on stupid Kickstarter stuffs, I'd buy this. 10 years ago, I'd buy this for
yeah,
sure.
and they made a lot.
Now I'm older and wiser.
Sorry, I was going to say they made a lot of money. They did get a bump. In the last 2 weeks, they went from $587 to $1,403.
Oh, okay. So the stuff
So
started
it's
to come in.
moving, but not a lot. Like they're barely anywhere.
Yeah, they got to get.
What did I say? 14.
But they've got 18 days.
Yeah, they still have time.
When does that take us to? 18 days from now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do date math well. Oh, wait, I figured this out. No, I have this right in front of me, the 31st. I figured this out last week because I figured out how to do math in Google Sheets.
That's right. That was the cool thing we figured out last week. It's really cool. So they've got. Oh, and we just started Hanukkah. So if everybody spends their Hanukkah money on this,
Oh, okay.
They
I
should be
was
great.
like, I don't know where you're going with this, but I think maybe we should start talking about rape again.
come on, come on. Okay, so that's the reviews. Now.
I had a minor heart attack. I thought I'd closed our stream down. I didn't. We're okay.
We're still live?
Yeah.
The internet's still out there?
Okay, so now we got
Excellent.
a weird one. And this is sort of my own fault. So, as you know, every week I go and I look for something Wednesday morning. And this is actually a little bit later in the day. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't grab this first thing this morning. This is a little later in the day.
Okay.
And so I found a thing called Sonic Soak. And it was brand new, started today. I will open the page and I will show you what the page looks like right now. Sorry, this project is no longer available. Now, normally, upon seeing this, so we knew about this. Normally, upon seeing this, I would have gone and found something else. I would have been like, oh, well, this is absolutely useless. We have nothing to talk about here. But in looking at this morning, I discovered a couple of other things. So I'm going to show you the interesting stuff from this.
Okay.
Let me switch back here real quick. So I'm doing a lot of switching back and forth so you don't see a lot of crazy things going on. So actually there is something I do need to show you on this page. So this is what our show notes look like. This is our topics for the day.
Oh, we're giving away our secrets.
I'm giving away our secrets. Right, not real shocking. And so this is just a Google document, and Google is a smart thing. Whoops. Okay. I'm typing
a smart thing.
I'm typing live, and so now I'm panicking.
Can't type live.
Sonics. Where am I typing? So when you go in here, if you highlight something and you hit Control K, it allows you to turn it into a link. And it tries to autocomplete things for you. So I was on Kickstarter, and I had the Kickstarter link in my clipboard to paste it here. But I noticed that an Indiegogo popped up as a suggestion. And that was sort of what led me down this rabbit hole and why I have Sonic Soak here 3 times.
The start of the caper.
The start of the caper. So if we go to Indiegogo. So Indiegogo has, and had at the time, a Sonic Soak Ultimate Ultrasonic Cleaning Tool. This is exactly what they had.
This is what you saw.
This is what you would have seen something
Kickstarter.
very similar to this on Kickstarter.
Except it would have had the Kickstarter logo instead of the Indiegogo logo.
Pretty much. So over here, they funded this. Big time.
When?
Funded on December 9th. What's the date today?
It's the 12th.
So 3 days ago, this was funded.
We did that without Google Sheets.
And they launched it on Kickstarter this morning.
Ooh.
They funded this 9,560%.
Whoa! Just over $1 million U.S. funds.
$1,02,887 American. 3 days ago, and then they launched it on Kickstarter. So I didn't actually look at this at the Indiegogo, but I would like to see how much they were charging. So here's their featured perk. The Early Birds Sonic Soak 2 times.
Good googly moogly.
This is a 54% discount.
How did
230 American. Apparently it's normally $500 for 2 of these.
So that would be $250 for one.
$250 for 1.
We do good math.
We do good math, so that's why it's 54% off, because it's less than $250.
Right.
Because 54% is greater than half.
It's 2% less than $250.
It's
Am I doing that math right?
No, you are not.
Hang on. Okay, you keep going. I want to check my.
So,
what's going on
anyways,
in my head.
and I was like, oh, that's really neat, right? I was like, that's really cool that Google found that for me. But I also remembered something. I was like, because I saw the picture of this, and I was like, this looks really familiar to me. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I've seen this somewhere before. So let's go back. Maybe.
Back we go.
Can I go back? No. Just going to be a jerk about it. All right. Oh, because it was a different tab. Okay. So here's the other thing. So this third one.
It's the 13th today, not the 12th.
Oh, really?
I just lost a day.
Oh.
Crap.
Well,
Did you lose a day too?
Well, I was just agreeing with you. I don't know what day of the week it
You're
is.
so agreeable. Sorry.
Anyways, so Jeremy, you're familiar with Alibaba, right? The website? It is the world's largest retailer right now.
Because it's Chinese, right?
Something like that.
That's what I thought.
So
Is that it was Chinese.
if we
I
go
thought that it was
to
Chinese. Okay, so we go
I'm
to
just
the
gonna block
third
these
one. I'm gonna.
notifications. We go to Alibaba.com. So the link I have here is for an ultrasonic cleaner for clothes. You can buy one of these. You don't even have to buy it in bulk. Like there's no like lot size. The minimum order here is one. Sometimes on Alibaba the prices are really cheap. But you have to buy like 30 of them.
Right. Okay.
You don't have to buy one. $13. Or sorry, $30. I'm really bad at talking all of a sudden. So I saw 15 and 30 and I went 13 because I'm a nitwit.
I was confused where you got
Yeah.
13 from.
So
All right.
$30 shipped to you from China. So do you think, my question is this, and I'll pose this to the internet and to Jeremy. Do you think that the guys with the Indiegogo and the failed Kickstarter, the shutdown Kickstarter, and I wonder if they got shut down, like if they got reported to Kickstarter or something like that. My question to you is, do you think these guys built anything, or do you think they bought a bunch of these from Alibaba for $15 a pop? Because I bet you they bought them in a giant bulk, and now they're just selling them for $500 on Indiegogo.
$500 for two.
Sorry, okay, $250 for one.
I want to see.
Like the to be fair, the plug looks a little different, but you know, like, do you think like their R&D was just changing what the plug looks like?
We are currently manufacturing ready.
Oh, hold on, that plug looks very similar.
Yeah. I wonder
think
if their
it's exactly
manufacturing is changing the plug.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was asking. So this has like an on-off button and a working indicator light on Alibaba. What does that have? Like, so that one looked different, like in the video that you were just scrolling
Yeah,
by.
this has
Right, so that's got like some stuff on it. So I think maybe they're just changing the case of the plug. But if you look at all the stuff they have on the shelves down lower, it looked like the same as this. Oh, because it's the prongs are pointing up. Okay, so what did they invent here, do you think? Anything? And this is sort of my problem with crowdfunding.
Yeah.
Right? So this product, which is, you know, you go to Alibaba, you change, you add something to it, right? So, I
Yeah.
mean, to be fair, iteration is a perfectly acceptable form of invention. It's how the world progresses. We take something and then we improve upon it.
We iterate.
We iterate it. But you take, this is the kind of thing, you know, they're buying most of their product, I would bet, for about $15 a pop.
Well, you don't know. That might be really expensive plugs.
I'm just saying, right? And then they do something. Obviously there's some level of manufacturing that has to go on there. But I feel like they could probably call someone at the factory that made the thing that they bought in the first place and be like, hey, how much does it cost to make something that looks like this? And I bet you they'd get a really good quote on it.
Well, yeah, that's innovation.
That's business.
That's actually brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm going to be shopping on Alibaba tomorrow.
You're going to buy some stuff that you
I'm
can
going to buy
resell.
some stuff, and we're going to next week, Bourbon and Zeppelin's first Kickstarter. Don't look through Alibaba.
So what do you guys think? So Jeremy's all on board. This is just, what's the word for this? Arbitrage? Is that the word?
innovation.
Well, yeah, but there's like a
Progress. Yeah, I stand by progress. That's the word I'm choosing.
that's
Progress.
fair. Do you think that the people who were on Indiegogo and bought this for $230, do you think these people are getting screwed? Do you think they got taken advantage of? I'll put it that way.
Did they get taken advantage of, or did they not do their research?
Right. So this brings us back to the blue checkmark conversation a little bit. So if you go onto a site like Indiegogo or Kickstarter, do you assume that this is innovation and that this is these people have put a lot of work into this, and so you trust that the people aren't?
No, we don't.
Well, we don't, because we look at this shit every week.
I was going to say, that's what we're doing. Yeah. We're doing our Kickstarter crystal ball. We find the people who have dumb ideas and come up with stuff that's already done, or not already done.
Yeah.
Sometimes already dumb as well. But we also find that the people who screw up and just rip off other ideas. No, I absolutely don't think that you can just assume that there's a unique product just because it shows up on Kickstarter. Because there's no way. I mean, you just take a half a step back and you think about it for a minute, and there's no way Kickstarter can vet Kickstarter is not the patent office. That's the statement I'm going with.
Okay.
Right? They don't go through, and Kickstarter can't go through and check the
patent office barely does that.
Exactly. So how would you expect Kickstarter to?
Well, so I guess I'm not saying should we expect Kickstarter to be vetting this stuff, but do you think that the kind of person who would kickstart something as a consumer, right? You're going into this, maybe you don't know a ton about crowdfunding, and
most of our Kickstarter crystal balls don't.
Right, and those are people who are submitting stuff, right? But so people who are just people who are just there to I want to kickstart something,
right? I want to.
Do you think that they're supporting some guy who was building stuff in his basement, like the dichotomy guy? I have an idea and I'm going to build it, and now I'm going to try to get money to make it better.
Did we look on Alibaba to see if dichotomy's there?
Honestly, we did not.
We better
do that real quick before.
Okay,
I'll keep digging this hole. Just
you keep going into this one,
right? Do you think that consumers believe that they're supporting sort of the little guy more so than someone who's I can go on Alibaba or eBay or some site like that and buy a bunch of stuff.
Jeff Bezos hates you right now.
Yeah, or Amazon. Sorry, Jeff. Don't hate me.
Yes, you're absolutely right. If you go on Kickstarter, if you're and you're looking to support something, you do assume that these are unique products, that these are new and innovative, and because it presents itself as this. So, would you say that what Kickstarter needs then is warnings or advisory notices, or
I don't know, because again, it's one of those things that's hard to vet. You could throw a little bit of automation in there. I'm sure Kickstarter has access to tons of really smart programmers who can probably do something to figure out who these people are who's submitting things and see what they've done in the past on the internet and get a sense of, is this just a guy, or is this someone representing a company, or this, they could have done I bet you a reverse image search probably would have led you to Alibaba. If you tin-eyed or something, I bet you would have got there. And that's the kind of thing that, if you've got the, the programmers and the servers to do it, you can. You absolutely can. Every time you upload a picture to Facebook, what does it do? It tags all of your friends in it automatically. Right? Why can't you do that with a product picture?
Pam's such a caring individual.
What'd she say?
Warning, don't be dumb.
Oh. I just saw porn, and I was like...
Oh, yeah, she's also... But that's a while ago. We were talking about other stuff at that point. Yeah, and I tend to be right in agreement with Pam on this one. Just a quick, like, it's buyer beware, especially on the internet. It's buyer beware.
Hey, I totally get buyer beware, but there's a level of ethics here, right? So if you're, so I'm not saying that platforms need to be responsible for all the content that's on it, but shouldn't they at least try to inform their consumers, right? Like if their real target is people who are on there to get stuff, shouldn't they be taking some strides to protect them from stuff like this?
It's a nice idea, but it's a slippery slope.
Sure. In what sense?
In the sense that if you say we're trying to do this, as soon as you say we're trying to protect the consumer, anybody who doesn't get protected and anybody who accidentally buys something that,
Right.
They then get all upset and says, you didn't protect me.
Right, but they're going to say that anyway. Like if those people all went to Alibaba and were like, oh my God, I can't believe this, we didn't get protected by Indiegogo or Kickstarter. Well, actually, it does look like Kickstarter might have protected them. Because usually when you go to a Kickstarter that's been canceled, it says this has been canceled. And the page is still up. Right? We've seen that.
That's true, actually.
The page was gone. Right? Which
Yeah,
tells me that someone at Kickstarter deleted them from the database.
Trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what line you're asking about, Heather. Heather says it's a free market. Why should Kickstarter be responsible for ignorant shoppers?
I don't know. Why should... Okay, you buy a car, and they aren't honest about the car, and you buy a lemon. Are you okay with that?
You're buying... Okay, who are you buying from, right? Brand new car, you're buying from the manufacturer.
You're buying from a dealer.
Yeah,
You're not buying from the manufacturer.
And the dealer represents the manufacturer.
Okay,
right?
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I buy a Civic from a Honda dealership. There's a linear line of responsibility.
Right.
You're buying their product, right? Kickstarter is a used car dealer's lot.
Yeah. And you're still protected by the law. Still protects us. There's still a lemon law, right?
Yeah, that one. I don't think that one's not an exact analog either.
No.
Because
but we don't think that like a website that like this, and we sort of talk about this every week, sort of tangentially anyway, and we were talking about it with Twitter. What are the sort of the ethical, I can't even think of the word I'm looking for now. What are the ethical expectations of large websites like this? Should they be? Should they be trying to protect anybody?
Yeah.
Or, because honestly, from my standpoint, something like what we just looked at, this Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Alibaba, Sonic thing, there's a technical solution for this. This is a kind of thing that is pretty objective, at least where they can have a technical solution to flag things, right? And then they can alert a human and get a human involved, because as we all know, sometimes machines have false positives. Those things happen, so you want to get a human involved. But definitely the technology exists where you can spot something just like this, and then have that be escalated to somebody to actually review it.
Yeah, and I feel like that's maybe what happened here. And
maybe
ultimately, yes, I think websites should do what they can within reason and within their power to protect the patrons of their website. I think it's in their best interest, because if people get screwed over by crappy, like if Kickstarter were to get infested by counterfeit Kickstarts, like this, it wouldn't take long, and they'd have a real problem with people supporting anything.
So, I've started getting into data analytics and stuff. I actually want to take a look now to see how many things have been on Kickstarter and Indiegogo, the same product.
Oh.
And to see if they got funded at one, and then if they went to the other platform and got funded again. I'd like to. I think that's an interesting set of data to look at. The commonality between the two sites. and even like GoFundMe, like all of those crowdfunding sites, to see where everyone landed. Because I also even let's say those guys, made their money, didn't buy this off of Alibaba, and they went on Indiegogo and funded it for 9,500% of their ask.
Right. Yeah.
I guess Kickstarter's technically a different market, but I mean,
moly.
So the other problem I have with crowdfunding, especially for like Indiegogo and Kickstarter, is it's supposed to be about I have a prototype. Like that was sort of the heart of it, right? Like initially that was the seed. I have a prototype. Let's fund it to make it better, so we have like an actual product we can take to market. And now it's just like, hey, I have a thing. I just want you to buy it.
Yeah.
And they don't want to set up a storefront, and they're like, I'm just going to go on. I figured out how to crowdfund, but I haven't figured out how to have a retail presence. And so, is it okay? I guess it's okay for them to go on Indiegogo and do around there, and then go to Kickstarter and do around there, because they're just trying to sell it in different markets, right? I guess I'm sort of talking myself out of my own point.
Yeah, I feel like it's a
bit of a gray area. I think it's an ethical quandary a little bit, because I believe that the consumers, the people going to Kickstart, want to believe that these guys are just kickstarting, like they don't have any money, right, and not that they just made $1 million on Indiegogo and now they're on Kickstarter for another $1 million.
Well, I mean, you can't say they just got $1 million off Indiegogo. You can't say after an experience like that you wouldn't be tempted to go try it off Kickstarter.
No,
too, right?
Hey, I totally get it, right?
And there too, I'm like, who said how much do you have to be? How much do you have to be finished the product to go on any crowdfunding, right? Like, say you got like a product, it's all ready to go. You already know how you're going to manufacture it. You already know how you go, and so then you go and crowdfund it, and you get your pledge, and you sell what you had already created, right?
Yeah. But
I find that in many ways, I find that less offensive than the projects that we've seen that are like, I
have an idea.
Give me money. I have an idea. Give me money to go do research about the idea.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And there's sort of like a weird balance there, right? Like, if people have. The thing is, if someone has all that stuff figured out, right? So we have our final design, we understand how the manufacturing process works, we know how much all this costs, we have everything. We have basically a fully formed business plan. They don't want to take that to a venture capitalist because they don't want to give up a cut.
You give up a cut with Kickstarter too.
You give up your percentage. What is it? We figured it out. It was like 20. Is it 20%?
It depends on how big the pledge is.
Yeah.
Right.
No. But it was like, yeah. It was it was 20 cents per transaction.
Yeah.
And then 5%, I think, of your
right.
total.
That sounds right. We can make that up.
So
don't fact check it, people.
I'm just saying let's say it's 5 or 6%. Now I've never gone to try to get funding for a venture capital or anything like that. But I've watched Dragon's Den. Those guys aren't asking for like 5% or 10%. Those guys are like, I'll give you money. I'll give you this much money for 40%.
Well, they're buying.
And I get that it's TV,
buying
so
equity.
It's a little different, right?
And they're buying equity, right?
But that's what venture capitalists do, right? They buy into your company.
Yeah,
that's how you get the money. And then they want a return on the money, right? And here, it's like people are like, oh, I get to be like a micro venture capitalist, but you're not. You're just buying an ultrasonic thing at a 300%. I don't want to do the math. More than that, like a 1,000, a little bit less. We'll say 800% markup.
I've got a lot of calculations to do after the show today.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. At what point is Kickstarter no longer crowdfunding, and at what point is it just leeching?
Is it
like a faux storefront?
I think Kickstarter turned into a fake storefront years ago. Honestly. Everything that gets funded, like, well, not everything, but a lot, I would say the vast majority of things that you see get funded are fully fledged.
They're already worked out.
They're already done. You know, like, I've bought board games. Like, games, like, Kickstarter is a great place to buy games, to be honest with you. And you do get a lot of sort of more original takes on stuff, because you will find stuff that you won't see in stores quite often, at least with games, like card games and board games and stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
But like I bought one game that was actually in its second printing off of Kickstarter, or it wasn't Kickstarter, but it was like a crowdfunding site.
Yeah.
But the only reason I did it, and I don't think that you should be allowed to do a second run on a crowdfunding site. Like, if you've already done one manufacturing run, all right, you take your profits and you invest it back in your company, and you go and figure out how to do it again. You know, but that's me.
I don't know, my EOS earbuds that I have coming next year, they're a second run.
Yeah.
That's how I know it's a good product.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But the reason I actually bought that board game is a friend of mine's in the rule set. He bought the first run, and we used to play, like, I used to work with him, and we used to play games at lunch. Like, it was a group of us. There was like 8 of us, I think, and we'd play games at lunch every day. And so he'd always bring games in, and we'd play them. And we came up with a variation on how to play the game, and he submitted it to like on Board Game Geek and to the guy who made the game. And then he was credited in the instructions of the second run for this variation of instruction, right? Which was the main reason I got it. I was like, oh, I sort of helped play test this. Sure. You know, but and it is a fun game, so I was glad I got it. But I'm just saying, like, if you're doing like a second run of a board game or a second run of anything, then, you know, you should be able to sell it in a traditional retail setting. I would think. I'm not kickstarting it because, like, the word Kickstarter implies that I am kickstarting your future, not just
the product.
buying
No, you're just kickstarting the project.
Yeah. Sure.
No problem.
Anyways, it's just sort of one of those things that sort of bothered me a long time philosophically about crowdfunding in general, Kickstarter in specific, and Indiegogo, because they're basically the same. GoFundMe's a little bit different, but yeah, I'm definitely going to make a note of that for my data thing. I do want to see what the overlap is between Indiegogo and Kickstarter.
I'm going to have to start looking
into APIs.
Yeah. All right. So, do we think this one's going to go? We can't even do predictions today.
The votes, I mean, yeah, like it got over.
It got 9,000% funding.
Yeah, I made $1 million on Indiegogo. Of course, it's going to go.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week with
something we can actually try to predict, maybe.
New predictions, new projects.
I clicked the wrong button when they saw the thing. You'll see it there. Right.
Did you click
here?
That thing? Oh, and
I saw that thing.
Hey, did you record today?
No.
All right.
No, I did my test recording. So, and then I didn't record this because why would we need to?
All right. Well, if you want to go see the crappy version of this over on YouTube.
This is how we drive people to Facebook. This is basic marketing. Marketing 101.
Bad quality video?
We want people to watch live, so we have to incentivize them, right? Watch live for the high quality video stream, comparatively speaking. It's a little poor this week because we're using different hardware than we normally do.
We're experimenting.
But hey, maybe this is how good it's going to be going forward. Maybe, hey, it might be just as good on YouTube. Actually, it'll be worse because I actually probably. Anyways, yeah. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to see this in better quality, you should join us live Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Facebook.com/Bourbon and Zeppelins. You can like the page, follow the page, join the page, whatever it is. You know all that Facebook terminology. Do that.
Do something with it.
And just watch and interact. You can join in on all the conversation we had. Man, lots of people talking and joining tonight, which is really cool. We had a lot to talk about. Yeah, relatively. And we were pretty controversial tonight. If you guys, give us some feedback on the controversy. What did you like? Do you like it when I'm shouting about rape and killing people? Or would you prefer that I don't do that? You tell me. Do you prefer this setup in terms of the look? Do you prefer the 2-camera thing? Let us know that. Do you?
We're going to explore some new locations.
Yeah.
If you have location requests, let us know.
Yeah, if you want us
Maybe we'll record from your house.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want, we can probably record from your kitchen. And
if there's good food,
it'll barely cost you anything. Just some bourbon and a Zeppelin, or just a Zeppelin. I'll buy bourbon.
We'll take care of the bourbon.
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/bourbon and Zeppelins. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do that, twitter.com/BNZ show. I am going to take advantage of this real quick, just to plug my other YouTube show that I just started. I just started another sort of podcast thing on YouTube. It's David Does Data. And I actually have a website you can go to for that. You can go to daviddoesdata.com, and there's links there that sort of explain what's going on. But basically, I'm making a move into the world of data analytics professionally. As such, I need to teach myself how to do data analytics, really. And so I'm just making some videos, sort of going over some projects that I'm working on. I have one real video up right now that just as an overview of the first project that I'm starting, which is a college basketball prediction engine. So I'm trying to predict the outcomes, like who's going to win a college basketball game and what the point spread is. And I'm gonna my measure of success with that is fake betting to see if I would win real bets with real money, and maybe one day with real money. Maybe I'll put my money where my mouth is. And see if I can actually not lose all my money.
And then we can buy real equipment.
And then we have real equipment. I got a real nice laptop.
We
right
can
here.
buy real lights.
Anyway, so that's one of the things that I'm working on. I'm also definitely going to be. One of the things I was going to try to build is a Kickstarter prediction engine, because I have this theory that you have to make X amount percentage of money on in a very small window in order to be successful on Kickstarter. So it would be interesting to see if we could somehow find out if that's true or not. That's my hypothesis. So I'm going to have to find data and create a methodology for that. What is that? Oh, that's my WordPress. Not go to my WordPress. I don't have any.
I'm like, this is your webpage.
No, it's not. Go to daviddoesdata.com.
Okay.
Here, I'll show it off on the stream because I can do that.
Because you've got control of that stuff.
Oops. I was like, what is that even?
Unsafe.
Maybe. Shouldn't be. So yeah, daviddoesdata.com. I have a little list of a little explanation of what I'm doing here, a list of projects, which right now the only write-up I have is a college basketball prediction engine. If you're into coding, you can check out the GitHub. I have a YouTube channel, Twitter, LinkedIn, all that junk. Anyways, this is really kind of only if you're interested in sort of nerdier coding type stuff.
The type of things we do every day for a living.
Yeah, but we don't talk about here. We're back on camera now, so
back?
at least people can see us.
See us?
Yeah. So now we're
Stop
talking
picking
again.
your nose. Okay, good.
Yeah. So, anyways, if you guys like to check that out, that would be really cool too. And that's I don't have really a release schedule for that.
When it's done.
Yeah, basically, and that's not streaming. That's just I just record that and put it on YouTube. So if you search for David Does Data on YouTube,
I put the link on.
Oh, cool. Thanks. He actually found the link to my YouTube channel. You can subscribe there. Pam, get on it. Subscribe all your kids to my other channel. That would be really cool.
All right, so we've got now 10 subscribed to our Bourbon and Zeppelins. We need 100, right?
We need 100. We're 10% of the way there.
10% of the way
This
there.
was a Kickstarter. And
We would not be there in time.
Instead of money, we needed people. First of all, it would probably be like 1860. And and secondly, we wouldn't be
would not
getting
be on
funded.
track to
We'd
get
have to
funded.
give all the people back that have
We
been,
have to give the people back.
that have been pledged so far.
All right.
All right, I think that's it. So one more
Let's
time,
get outta here.
Facebook.com, Bourbon and Zeppelins, Instagram.com, Bourbon and Zeppelins, Twitter.com/BNZ Show. We will see you next week. Have a good evening, everybody.
See ya.
Hold on.